You're about to witness something you were never supposed to see on CNN. President Donald J. Trump is restoring law and order across this country, and the Democrat elite are absolutely losing it. Just hours ago, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries stormed out of a live interview after a reporter did the unthinkable. He broke ranks and asked a real question. Why are Democrats doing the exact same thing that you accused Republicans of? And what do you know about Letitia James's international money trail? Wow. Ooh, the camera kept rolling, guys. And what we saw next? A meltdown, a man cornered, and a party in collapse. Now, this wasn't a gaffe. This wasn't a misstep. This was a mask slipping in real time, and it sent shockwaves through the Democrat machine. Because just beneath Hakeem's panic is a growing, damning scandal involving Letitia James, foreign shell companies, and a global network of alleged donor fraud that could bring down more than just her. And the best part, guys, the reporter asked the one question that they never thought that they would air. What happens when the party of fairness gets caught doing the exact same thing that they were screaming about for years? When they redraw districts for power? When they weaponize lawfare against Trump while covering up their own corruption? Well, today we're going to expose all of that. You're going to hear the exact moment that Hakeem snaps. I want to show you how Letitia James's name got tied to foreign laundering, and we're going to go ahead and pull up the receipts from 2016 and 2020 that prove that this is not the first time that Democrats rigged the system in plain sight. So buckle up, guys, because we're going to go a little bit deeper, and the deeper we go, the dirtier it gets. And if Hakeem Jeffries thought that he could just storm out and bury this story, well, he just made it 10 times bigger. So I want to go ahead and break it down. Oh, and if you appreciate the daily news updates, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you, guys. So how did all of this unfold? Well, it started just like pretty much any other puff piece interview. Jeffries sat down with CNN, smiling, rehearsed, ready to repeat the same old tired talking points about protesting democracy, fair elections, and of course, these evil Republicans, right? But something was a little bit different this time, because this wasn't your typical scripted segment. This wasn't MSNBC fluff or a DNC press release in disguise. No, this CNN anchor went off script. And in just one question, the entire interview flipped. Congressman, you've accused Republicans of cheating, gerrymandering, and undermining democracy. So why are Democrats doing the exact same thing in places like New York and New Jersey? And more importantly, what do you know about Letitia James being investigated for global money laundering? That was it. The air changed. Jeffries froze. Like, what started as a softball sit down turned into a political mugshot. And then what came next left even the CNN crew stunned. He stammered, he spun, he lashed out, got all mad. And before the reporter could even finish the follow-up, Hakeem Jeffries, he ripped his mic off of his shirt, off of his jacket, and he stormed out of the studio. But why? Like, why would the House Minority Leader completely unravel on live television? Because the question just hit a little bit too close to home. Because Letitia James's scandal isn't just about her. Now let's talk about that, okay? Letitia James, New York Attorney General, Democrat darling, right? The same one who built her entire career attacking President Donald Trump with bogus lawsuits. Many of you guys remember that. Well, now she's the one that's under fire. According to internal leaks from federal investigators working with or working under President Trump's Department of Justice, Letitia James is being looked at for coordinating foreign wire transfers through a network of political nonprofits, using international shell companies to reroute campaign funds, and channeling donor money into foreign accounts linked to political operatives in Europe and the Caribbean. And get this, some of those entities some of these entities allegedly have connections to Soros-linked PACs, foreign law firms, and even some offshore accounts in the British Virgin Islands. Now, I want you to ask yourself, do you really believe Hakeem Jeffries, her long-time political ally from New York, that he knew nothing? Because here's the kicker, guys. The Trump administration's DOJ, under Attorney General Pam Bondi, is quietly reopening several closed corruption probes tied to New York's Democrat machine. And Letitia James, she's not the only name that's on those dockets. So when CNN dared to ask Jeffries if he was connected or if he was even aware of what's happening behind the scenes, he panicked. That's not the behavior of an innocent man. That's the look of someone who just realized he's standing on a trap door. And that brings us to the very next bombshell, because the reporter didn't just ask about Letitia James. He called out Jeffries' redistricting hypocrisy, and the meltdown got even worse. Now, this might be the most important Medicare tip that I've ever shared, okay? You do not have to settle for a plan that doesn't work for you. I partnered with Chapter to help folks just like you break free from these overpriced, underperforming coverages. Julie in Kansas, she was stuck in a scam plan that her broker had pushed her into because, for whatever reason, probably because it paid a higher commission for all I know. Anyway, her broker pushed her into this plan that cost her more money just to see her own doctor. Chapter stepped in, fixed it, and saved her $400 a year. Frances Latiro, she and her husband are now saving $65 a month. Guys, this is real. It's repeatable help. You deserve that help too. Give our friends a call at Chapter right now. Phone number is 909-563-8279 down below, or you can click the link in the pinned comment at askchapter.org/Ron. You can visit them on their website. One call, zero pressure, maximum relief, and it's totally free. You have nothing to lose. So let's revisit the exact moment that the interview turned hostile, because it wasn't just the mention of Letitia James that made Hakeem Jeffries snap. It was what came immediately after that. The reporter, again, this is CNN we're talking about here, guys, not exactly the MAGA network. You know what I mean? He doubles down and he asks, you've accused Republicans of election rigging and corruption. So why are Democrats, including your allies, doing the same thing in places like New York and New Jersey? Are you aware that Letitia James is now being investigated for global money laundering? Boom. That was the question, guys. Right there. That single moment is when the Democrat narrative completely imploded on national television. And you could almost hear it. The I believe in fair maps talking points. Really? I believe in fair maps? The Republicans are destroying democracy rehearsals? Gone. Evaporated. Because when forced to explain why Democrats are redrawing congressional districts mid-decade, the same thing that he attacked Republicans for doing in Texas, Hakeem Jeffries had nothing. He didn't refute it. He didn't clarify it. He didn't even deny it. Instead, Hakeem Jeffries just got mad. Really mad. He accused the reporter of pushing MAGA propaganda. He changed the subject and then he just walked out. But here's what he didn't do. He didn't answer the question. Now, if you're serious about staying ahead, grab my free breaking news email down below. It is the filter for the noise. I left a pinned comment for you down there. It's there. It's totally free. Now let's break this hypocrisy wide open, okay? Just last month, Jeffries slammed Texas Republicans for what he called undemocratic, unprecedented, and disgraceful gerrymandering. Yeah, he said mid-decade redistricting violated norms. He said it was a direct attack on voting rights, and yet that's exactly what Democrats are doing right now in New York and New Jersey. Not only are they redrawing maps, they're also doing so explicitly to try and reclaim the House majority in 2026. And here's the kicker. This isn't even new. Let's go all the way back to 2016 when Barack Obama was president and the Democrats were flailing in the House, right? What did they do? They launched mid-decade redistricting campaigns in North Carolina, Florida, Virginia, and Pennsylvania, all designed to flip Republican seats before the next census. And guess what? It worked. Pelosi clung to a majority in 2020 thanks to those same gerrymandering maps. And now, because Republicans are doing the same in 2025, it's all of a sudden a threat to democracy? Come on, guys. Fairness for who? Hakeem, the voters, or your donors? And look, I'm not saying redistricting is petting, and it's not pretty either, right? But don't stand on stage preaching about norms and fairness. Meanwhile, you're doing the same thing behind the curtain. That's not leadership, guys. This is theater, and the American people are waking up to this nonsense. This is why President Trump was elected twice. I mean, technically, wasn't he elected 3 times? Y'all tell me on that one, right? He doesn't play this game. He's not here to pretend corruption doesn't exist. He's here to clean it out, and the swamp is terrified. But of course, we're not done, because the Letitia James connection goes a lot deeper than Jeffries wants you to believe. Let's go ahead and connect the dots here, shall we? Because the media will not do this. And because that question that Jeffries refused to answer, it's not a conspiracy theory, it's common sense. Letitia James and Hakeem Jeffries are not strangers. They're not just 2 Democrats from New York who happen to work in government. They're political allies. They rise from the same machine. They built their careers on attacking Donald Trump. Both cashed in on media outrage and weaponized lawfare. And now that James is under investigation for international financial crimes, Jeffries suddenly doesn't know anything. You expect us to really believe that? This is the House Minority Leader of the United States House of Representatives, and he's out here pretending like he has no knowledge of what's happening inside the New York political machine that he helped to build and construct? Come on, guys. If these alleged schemes were happening in his own backyard, why is Hakeem Jeffries acting like he knew nothing? You know why? Because he probably did know. And And if he didn't, he's not a really good leader, is he? He would just be a placeholder. And so here's the most important part here. President Trump's DOJ under Pam Bondi has reopened corruption cases involving money laundering, dark money packs, corruption, finance, fraud linked to multiple officials in New York. Insiders say James isn't the only name being reviewed. So now Hakeem Jeffries hasn't been charged with anything. But in politics, it's not always the charges that destroy you. It's the perception, the closeness, the proximity. And who else knew? Questions that don't go away. And when Jeffries was forced to answer those questions live, that's when everything snapped. So let's go ahead and walk through the exact moment that he just stormed out. The reporter, calm, measured, asks again, but Congressman, if you support redrawing maps in New York and Letitia James is being investigated for corruption, how is that different than what you just condemned in Texas? Jeffries' eyes narrowed. His voice got sharp. He snapped back with, this is MAGA propaganda. I'm not going to entertain it. Guys, and then the reporter kind of held the line and he said, I'm not just asking if you believe in one standard or two. That's when it happened. Jeffries yanked his microphone off. He stood up off camera. You can hear some shuffling and handlers rushing in. And with a tone that really just dripped with fury, he muttered, we're done here. And just like that, guys, the House Minority Leader of the Democratic Party stormed off live television. Why? Because for once, he wasn't in control of the narrative. And when these people lose control, they fight back and then they run. And so that's just the beginning, because Trump's silence, that's not weakness. It's strategy. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating, because you might be wondering, well, where's Trump in all this, right? Why hasn't President Trump commented on Hakeem Jeffries' meltdown? Why hasn't he lit up Truth Social with a scathing post? And the answer might be the smartest play of all. He didn't need to, because when the swamp is busy imploding, you just kind of like sit back and let the collapse happen in real time. Trump's not chasing headlines. He's building cases. He's letting Attorney General Pam Bondi, a prosecutor, not a politician, do the heavy lifting. And sources inside the DOJ, they're saying her team has already traced financial transfers tied to Letitia James's old campaign network with offshoots into California, Washington, and yes, New York's congressional delegation. Coincidence or coordinated? I'm gonna let you decide on that. But here's what really matters. Trump doesn't need to shout anymore, okay? He's the president of the United States. He don't need to play those silly games. He's restoring law and order quietly, patiently, and with precision. The audits are back in charge, and this is really terrifying the swamp, right? And so now something even more unexpected is happening. The media, guys, they're breaking. CNN of all outlets is the one that really let it slip. It wasn't Fox, not OANN, CNN. Okay. And when the anchor pressed Jeffries again and again, you could almost feel the control room panic. Guys, you couldn't cut to commercial fast enough, right? And so the damage was done, because when even CNN starts asking the questions that the rest of us have been screaming about for years, it means that the narrative is just cracking. It means that their protectors are tired. They're worn out. They're losing their grip. It raises the biggest question of all. Are even the gatekeepers tired, or at least getting tired of defending the indefensible? Maybe this was a slip. Maybe it was intentional. Or maybe, just maybe, some in the legacy media are starting to realize that they backed the wrong team. But if you think that this was just about one interview or one walk-off, think again, because what we're seeing is a full-blown cultural collapse within the Democratic Party. What we just witnessed wasn't just a personal meltdown. It was a cultural rupture. Because what happens when the party of morality gets exposed? What happens when the very people who lecture us about fairness, justice, and democracy get caught redrawing maps, laundering money, and storming out when they're asked about it? Now, I'm going to tell you what happens. The illusion collapses. And this is exactly what we're watching inside the Democratic Party right now. Letitia James is under investigation. Hakeem Jeffries can't answer basic questions. Their top media allies are breaking rank. Their voters demoralized. Their message collapsing under the weight of its own hypocrisy. They spent 4 years calling Donald Trump a threat to democracy. And now they're the ones redrawing political maps mid-decade, weaponizing lawfare, laundering donor funds through global channels, and running from interviews that they cannot control. How can they lead a nation when they can't even survive a 10-minute interview, right? This is what political bankruptcy looks like. And if you think that this is the end, think again. President Trump's DOJ is not alone. Pam Bondi is not done. And most importantly, the American people are not done. So I want to ask you something. Do you believe Hakeem Jeffries had no idea what Letitia James was doing? Or are we watching the tip of something far more dangerous, a coordinated network of corruption unraveling right in front of us? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, because this is far from over. And if you thought Hakeem Jeffries storming off was dramatic, just wait until the subpoenas start flying. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with this. If Hakeem Jeffries really had nothing to hide, if Letitia James' scandal was just noise, and if the Democratic Party was still in control of its own narrative, why did he storm off? And why is it the questions, not the answers, that scare them the most? Let me know what you believe in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, because this isn't just about one interview. This is the beginning of a much bigger unraveling. Oh, and before you go, guys, don't miss the next video YouTube is recommending to you guys right now. They think you're going to love it, and they're probably right. So click it, watch the next video, see how deep this rabbit hole goes, and I'll see you there.